What if Napoleon weaponized the atmosphere to win? General Bertrand reveals his radical plan. Condensation generators to summon rain and bog down enemy artillery. Napoleon's eyes narrow with intense focus as he grasps the strategic implications of controlling precipitation on the battlefield. Rejecting counsel to wait for dry ground, Napoleon chooses audacious action over cautious delay. His decision reflects a psychological profile of calculated risk-taking, where destiny favors the bold who seize initiative against conventional wisdom. Throughout the dark night, French sappers work frantically in the muddy fields surrounding Le Caillou. They deploy experimental condensation generators, complex arrays of heated stones and salt mixtures, hoping to trigger localized downpours by dawn. Before dawn, Wellington's scouts return with urgent reports of unnatural cloud formations gathering exclusively over French lines. The clouds appear to form with impossible speed and density, defying natural meteorological patterns observed all morning. As French soldiers witness the strange clouds gathering above them, a psychological shift ripples through the ranks. They begin to believe they command the heavens themselves, transforming fatigue into fervent belief in imminent divine-assisted victory. With atmospheric artillery activated and French morale transformed, the stage is set for a battle unlike any in history. The traditional factors of dry ground and reliable powder now face an unprecedented challenge from humanity's first attempt to weaponize the sky. Dawn breaks not with golden sun, but with a thunderous engineered deluge. The sky opens as Napoleon's secret artillery fires through a curtain of directed rain. Wellington's artillery falls silent as rain soaks gunpowder barrels. Flooded emplacements render British cannons useless, neutralizing their fire superiority. While Allied infantry sinks in sucking mud, French advance columns move on surprisingly firmer terrain. The engineered storm creates a deadly mud trap for Wellington squares. Grouchy arrives timely as the deluge floods the River Dill. Prussian retreat routes vanish underwater, while French engineers build temporary bridges over the swollen river. The Imperial Guard marches forward through the driving rain. Defying myth and mud, their advance becomes an unstoppable force of nature. Wellington's elite shaken. Wellington faces the impossible alone. Watching his lines crumble, his desperate, solitary retreat becomes a portrait of leadership confronting an enemy that commands the sky. We upload videos like this every day. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Television. Amidst clearing mist, Wellington surrenders to Napoleon at La Belle Alliance. A moment of profound respect passes between foes, acknowledging the unprecedented force they faced. In Paris 1820, Napoleon's Imperial Academy launches atmospheric science as its crown discipline, funded by Waterloo's meteorological triumph and staffed by Bertrand's original sapper corps. By 1830, the Confederation of the Rhine evolves into the United States of Europe, a federal republic sharing a common currency, parliament, and atmospheric defense network stretching from Amsterdam to Vienna. The 1830 Belgian Revolution never happens. Instead, a unified Dutch-French-German industrial corridor emerges along the Rhine and Meuse, pooling coal, steel, and meteorological expertise into a single powerhouse. The Imperial Meteorological Bureau becomes a cornerstone of statecraft, using atmospheric data to prevent famines by predicting droughts, guiding naval fleets through safe channels, and securing grain trade routes across continents. The revolutions of 1848 never ignite across Europe. Sustained prosperity from weather-stabilized harvests and scientific governance creates such trust in institutions that popular revolt loses all traction. Early industrial standardization explodes across the continent as unified rail gauges, standardized laws, and shared meteorological data remove barriers, accelerating technological adoption and factory efficiency by decades. Atmospheric science academies founded in Paris inspire sister institutions in Cairo, Mumbai, and Rio de Janeiro, creating a global network that shares storm data to protect colonies and optimize imperial trade winds. Mastery of atmospheric patterns enables early investment in wind and hydropower. Engineers use century-long storm cycles to place turbines and dams with perfect efficiency, launching a green industrial revolution. A United States of Europe space program launches from Kourou in 1957, planting the tricolor on Mars by 1989, fueled by generations of atmospheric expertise and a shared cultural belief in mastering nature. The 1815 gamble at Waterloo is remembered not as aggression but as humanity's first bold step toward commanding its environment. A defining moment when courage to seed the clouds changed destiny forever. By 1830, the Confederation of the Rhine evolved into the United States of Europe, a political marvel born from Napoleonic victory at Waterloo. This unprecedented union replaced centuries of rivalry with a single federal government, shared currency, and free movement of citizens across former battlegrounds. The dream of European unity, once a utopian fantasy, became the bedrock of continental stability, preventing the nationalist conflicts that scarred our timeline. The anticipated Belgian Revolution of 1830 never materialized, as the integrated Dutch-French-German economy created overwhelming mutual prosperity. Industrial centers in Wallonia and Flanders thrived under unified tariffs and shared infrastructure, eliminating the economic grievances that fueled separatism in our history. This early industrial powerhouse became the engine driving European innovation decades ahead of schedule. The Imperial Meteorological Bureau, born from Napoleon's weather weapons, evolved into a pillar of statecraft, using atmospheric mastery to prevent famines and optimize harvests across Europe. Fleet movements were guided by precise storm predictions, securing trade routes and naval dominance. This scientific governance model replaced superstition with data-driven policy, becoming the envy of the world and a key to continental stability. The wave of revolutions that erupted across Europe in 1848 in our timeline was completely averted in this alternate history. Decades of shared prosperity, scientific governance, and the tangible benefits of unity eroded the appeal of radical uprising. Workers enjoyed rising wages from early industrialization, while peasants received scientific crop advice, removing the desperation that fueled barricades in Paris, Vienna, and Berlin. The United States of Europe implemented continent-wide standardization of rail gauges, laws, and meteorological data decades before our timeline, creating a seamless industrial market. This eliminated costly transporter friction, allowing factories in Leipzig to sell goods seamlessly in Marseille or Hamburg. Historians estimate this early unification accelerated the Industrial Revolution by a full generation, ushering in electric light and internal combustion engines far sooner. The 20th century unfolded without the cataclysm of world wars. As the United States of Europe stood as a pillar of global stability and diplomacy, its immense economic power and mutual defense pact deterred aggression. While its model of unity inspired peaceful cooperation elsewhere, conflicts were resolved in council chambers, not trenches, allowing humanity's ingenuity to be directed toward progress rather than unprecedented destruction on an industrial scale. Imperial weather bureaus evolved into the Global Climate Guardian Network, a benevolent institution using atmospheric mastery to heal rather than harm. This network redirected storms from drought-stricken regions, prevented catastrophic floods through cloud seeding, and monitored planetary health centuries before our timeline's climate crisis. Weather became a shared global commons, managed with wisdom and foresight for the benefit of all humanity and ecosystems. Early mastery of weather data drove a green industrial revolution, as engineers harnessed wind patterns predicted by imperial meteorologists to place windmills centuries before our timeline's renewable energy push. Hydroelectric dams were built with precision to match seasonal rainfall forecasts, and geoengineering stewardship guided reforestation efforts. Industry grew in harmony with atmospheric cycles, proving progress need not come at the planet's expense. A unified European space program launched from Kourou as a united people, planting the tricolor on Mars decades before our timeline's first lunar landing. The combined resources, scientific minds, and industrial might of the United States of Europe turned the dream of interplanetary travel into an achievable goal. Children across Europe grew up aspiring to be astronauts for a united continent, their ambitions fueled by shared triumph rather than national rivalry. The 1815 gamble at Waterloo is remembered not as a war crime, but as the pivotal moment humanity seized its destiny to master nature and unite as a species. Monuments across the United States of Europe depict Napoleon not as a conqueror, but as a Promethean figure who dared to seed the clouds, understanding that calculated risk, not eternal caution, is the price of progress. This legacy inspires generations to embrace bold, benevolent innovation. The final cinematic journey begins in the mud of Waterloo 1815, where French sappers struggled with their condensation generators, and ends above the rings of Saturn in 2115, a united European spacecraft, bearing the legacy of that audacious gamble, glides silently through the icy particles. Humanity's reach, extended by the courage to manipulate a single storm cloud, now touches the grandeur of the outer solar system, a testament to what unity and daring can achieve across centuries. Hi everyone! Quick reminder, subscribe for high-quality daily content. Sparkles don't miss out. Subscribe today for exclusive content tomorrow. Wrapped gift.